Well, are we ready?
Jerry's about ready to put his pack on. Let's get this. These two guys lifting these heavy-duty packs. Do you want to either Bruce have a hat?
Yeah.
Okay, I got a mariner's hat if you need it.
Hanging on the back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey Taylor, it's been pretty exciting getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning to see Poppy off, hasn't it?
These are my hiking poles.
I thought it was 6 o'clock though.
What time is it right now? Let's see.
Okay.
It's barely 9 o'clock.
There was that roll of toilet paper back there. Oh, I need that.
Get the necessities here. Any parting shots? Anything you want to say for the folks back home?
We'll make it. We're tough.
All right.
Big old cedar tree out there. It's our first creek crossing. These are my boots standing in the river. It goes off the edge right here and on down. And end up falling right down there into the Suiattle River. Day one here. A very soft hiking along this area here. There's Bruce navigating the crossing. Alright. Oh, here's some trees hanging above the trail here. Some of the pretty trail that we're hiking along here. Here's a suspension bridge out in the middle of nowhere, crossing over this river. This is Mujambo, the man in the tree. He's looking over us tonight as we sleep. I'll wink back at you too, Mujambo. Well, here we are on day 2. We're getting packed up, ready to leave. And this morning, this is our campsite we stayed in last night. Tent was sitting right there in the foreground. And had a nice fire last night. Hardly any bugs. Had a real nice night last night, first night. So today we head up the mountain, up to Image Lake. Well, we've left camp in the morning. There's Glacier Peak, 4th tallest volcano in the state. 10,500 feet, plus or minus. Tons of snow on the north face here. You can see that there's nothing separating us between that mountain except for the river down there, and then you just could walk right up that flank and right up to the top. This is Bruce doing his sweat rag, getting it all clean. Oh, we're a little bit higher up, a little bit more straight on view. To the left we see the other range. Here are the views so far. Didn't know there were so many mountains up here.
Well, here's this whole range here. You can see the rivers coming up around the mountains and the valleys. They join together like little ribbons.
Main one to the left is the Suiattle. The little one joins the Suiattle. Coming off of the Suiattle Glacier up there to the left of Glacier Peak.
Some of the peaks to the left of Glacier.
What direction is that? To the east? Southeast?
Image Lake, 3/4 to the right. Lookout to the left. No water at the lookout, but definitely water at the lake. On top of the lookout, do a little bit of pan here.
Ooh, some of these boards are not what I'd call real sturdy.
Here's the inside of the lookout. Oh, a nice little pan of this area too. There's the rivers again. It's about as high as we're going to get, I think. And just looking across it there.
Look at this bug down here on the bottom, Terry.
Okay, these things on the rock. What are those things? I just don't know. Here's Image Lake at ground level. Getting ready to go out there and swim. Looks pretty nice.
Swim.
Bruce says swim. Bruce won't swim. What was that little bug? Huh? Look at me. Well, that's a nice pretty view. Glacier Peak. Late evening sun. Well, not much sun. But there's the lake here, looking down on it. We went swimming there today. Nice cold water after a hot hike. You see there in the distance? The sunset. There's a campsite down there, that little white tent down at the lower left. In the distance there you can see a landslide. Let me zoom in a little bit tighter. It looks like all the way up to that ridge. All the trees slid right into the river there. Just clean. Here's the Smoke Glacier. They call that because of all the rocks and sand and stuff. Blows dust off it all day. Looks like smoke. This is the range we're walking alongside today. Just mountains with snow, just seems to go on forever.
Mount Fernow is a 9,000 plus foot peak, though, kind of the dome shaped peak out there. And the semi-dome shaped peak back in here is Chihuahua. This one's Fortitude or something like that. Mount Fortitude or something.
Somebody packed that up here.
Yep. McCulloch Motors.
Does this look like an old cabin? It's kind of squashed. Going out kind of long ways this way. And occasionally you got to take a rock out of your shoe.
What I said before, like forbidden or something like that, it's called Fortress.
Another little shack in the woods. Where do they find the material up here? You must drag it in. Maybe by horse and mule. Hey, look, that looks like a shower stall. Furnaces over here. Maybe these are furnaces over here. The propane bottle for all of this. Maybe another furnace. Got a gas can over there. Maybe another old furnace. Now what is this device? This is the direction we came from. We're looking out down the valley that way. There's a junction for the trail at the bottom. That ridge with a little bit of line of snow up there. We're going to be crossing over that rock field, that pass up there at the top. That's where we'll be headed. That's the junction I was talking about previously.
Like we said, we used to do that.
Long time ago.
A long time ago. When you get a few years on you, why you'll turn to one of these lifestyles.
I'll tell you what.
There's the way we came from. Let's see, we're looking over across the valley at the mountains opposite. I'm wondering if these mountains are the backside of Trapper. Well, that looks like the top of the pass we're headed for. Here we are at the top of Cloudy Pass.
Wow.
Down below there's Lake Lyman. Up above the pass is Spider Gap. Let's check these things out. There's the lake there. Looking up, river coming down to the next lake. Look at that glacier over there, breaking off into it.
Boy, the wind doesn't seem to daunt these horseflies.
See how fast water melts around here? Look at that little patch of ice. And this thing is tiny. Now look at the water there. Just trickling out of there. Right, the little tiny little creek. Some of the few hikers we've seen here.
You have to hop over all the rocks, going kind of across.
So is it a marked trail?
It's marked till, let's say, to the rock here. It's
Okay.
marked. Then you just hop over. I think there's sign on top.
Once you get up on top, well, we'll probably head around this way.
It's
Do
a
that.
nice way.
And see how that works. Do that after the rest of the night. Boy, you sure do have to go out a long ways. I'm not going to dive in. No way. Well, my first count was about 11.5 trillion, give or take.
Oh, okay.
That was just around my head. Around your head, about the same number. So,
Well, as you can see, it's a little bit earlier night for the tent. You look up, it's still daylight out there really, but hey, we'll get up early in the morning. Right now we're out from the bugs. We'll do a little bit of reading. If you look out here, we can see where there's this channel running through all that. Channels through the water. A little bit more up on top. See this glacier over here. Heading for Spider Gap. A little bit closer view of this. As you can see, there's a good campsite down there.
hey Terry, how about you hand me another roll of film?
There seem to be some long piles of rocks, whether they were stacked by man or whether they were just left here.
Stacked by the glacier.
There's a farther one over there too. That whole view of that. You can see up above. Boy, that just looks like it's ready to give way, doesn't it? Go back down to that glacier. Like that, and you can just see where, if you look in there, how it's kind of hollowed out underneath. You can see the reddish rock over there, and if you look clear over here close by, you see indications of red rock mixed in with the granite. It looks totally out of place because if you look straight up above us, there is no red rock. There's just a kind of a line on the side of the mountain. You have the grass up above, you have granite, and then you have iron colored rock mixed in up to a certain height, all the way across about as far as the eye can see. Here's a piece of the rock here. You can see how dark brown it is. Well, that's where we came from. You look up at this peak here above us. Oh, down the snowfield, across that other range. That one, the glacier goes way down like that. We're gonna go out and have lunch on that hump out there. On the corner you see those mountains.
Back beyond there, I'm thinking is Dome Peak. Seven-finger jack. But it's off the map. We'd need the Lucerne map. There's a shot of what we believe is Red Mountain. We come across where we came through. There's Spider Gap right there in the center. Come across and there's, what's his name? With an unnamed peak behind him. Can't figure out what that is. And I believe that peak there is Mount Fernow, a 90. Get out of the way, get out of the way. Mount Fernow. And then we've got another peak there. Not sure what that one is. We go around over here, and there he is in the picture again. Back behind, right in the center of the picture right now, is what we believe is Dome Peak. We don't have a map that shows it, but we'll check that when we get back. Seven-fingered Jack in the center, that's another 9,000 plus, and Mount Maud out there in the center, that's another 9,000. So right in this one shot, and then down into Spider Meadow down below out there. And in that one shot, one panorama there, we got 3 or 4 9,000 foot peaks.
Well, this is the whole way looking back down. Heading back down to where we camped down below at the lower lake. We can just barely see that lower lake down there. There's the valley down there. You can pick out our lake down there. Yeah, I think that's it.
Like that, yeah. It's gorgeous. And the glacier down there. We had some of this stuff. Now it's gotten kind of crowded up here now. There went Terry. Good move, Terry.
I can't.
You gotta pull the...
More work.
Well, I don't think it'll be more work pretty soon.
Yeah, it gets a little steeper right up there in front of you. Yeah. Look at the dog sliding.
Here's a rock with a bit of a crack in it when it landed.
There's Terry gonna fall in the drink here. Oh, he made it. By golly, he made it.
Of course. No problem.
A little bit of cloud cover. We woke up to rain this morning. Spot for a lake over there. We'll check the map later and let you know. There's that waterfall making all the noise coming down the mountain.
It's Railroad Creek.
It's raining down in the valley down here and out towards Heart Lake. Nice little waterfall as it slides down the rocks. Well, there's Fish Lake down there. The sun just hitting it. Small little lake up in the Cascades. Got us some of the blueberries that the bears will be looking for this winter, summer, fall, getting ready for winter. The bushes are just loaded with them.
Clear up top there.
That's coming down from the Bonanza Glacier. We got this peak over to the side, overlooking the lake. Bruce has got his waterproof pants on. His boots are dry. There's a little bit of rain today. We're hiking through wet brush. Now Bruce will show you how I'm dressed today.
Let's listen.
With wet boots.
Let's listen to the water sloshing. Right up there at the bottom of the clouds, you can kind of see a pass. That's the Lyman Basin we just left. Came all the way down the hillside over there. There's Heart Lake. We're just passing Heart Lake, and we're coming along the river. Where's the river? There it is. And it comes to a shelf right there, and we can hear some falls. And then you can see way out there, we believe that to be Holden. Stick your thumb up.
Well, here's where we get our coffee and our food. There's Bruce coming out with coffee now, 24-hour coffee service.
Awesome coffee. In a sense, more, I think both sides were more or less no win situation on both sides anyway, you know,
Yeah,
pretty much.
that's right.
So it ended up,
Pine needle baskets, right? This is Mark.
Just a sec, let me start that over again, okay? A little bit of the town of Holden here. See some of the places where people stay. This is kind of the Twin Peaks. You hike up to the Copper Valley up that way. That's the main cafeteria there, plus the hotel. Out front here, it's a bit of a gathering place with benches. To the right over there is the kiosk where they have all the information boards. Here's the jacuzzi that you can use at any time. Some of the houses here. That's registration. Here's the sauna here. There's the post office, general store. This is the whole reason that the town of Holden was here to begin with. This large copper, silver, and gold mine, mining in the side of this mountain. You can see some of the equipment here that was used for that. Someone abandoned. Over here you can see the tailings from the mine. This is all ore and dirt that they pushed out from inside the mountain.
I'm a traveling man going through your town tonight. I've been searching, I've been working just to make it right. And I know that I love you, and I know that it's true. Yeah, baby, baby, do love me, if you know what I mean. Do you know the way I feel about you? Now it's true, and I know that I love you, and I know that it's true. Yeah, baby, baby, do love me.
All those little dots
If
are
you know what
earthquakes.
I mean. Do you know the way I feel?
This is the slow boat here. They're taking down passengers here. We'll be taking the fast boat out. I can't figure out why I'm doing this.
Danny, want to come out and say hi, Daddy?
How you doing? Oh, yes. Had a good time. Yeah, one of these days, you're going to
Hi, Joey.
Oh, hi.
Hi, kid. He's too shy.
End of the hike, face sucking.
I missed him so much.
You said,
Zach, what'd you say,
I
Joey?
didn't miss him.
I said that Mom said that after the first 3 days, she said, hey,
Careful. You're in trouble now. In trouble
I
now.
feel guilty because she didn't miss Dad very much. I always do bad in front of camera.